having done one side off camera, I'm going to show you how we approach cutting this binding back and leaving us with the nibs on the end. And it's a little bit scary, but I'm going to get the excess off with a trim router bit, like a pattern follower bit. Got it on nice and slow. And we're making sure when we're looking down that the router is tipping nice and forward. Let's go this way. Because if you tip the router back at all, it will clip the frets. It won't get it completely flush with the fingerboard, and that's actually good because it just gives us a little bit of wiggle room, but what it means is we're not filing for, forever. And that, unfortunately, is about as far as we can go with that. We should just be able to nibble this off. So now it's just a case of carefully scraping this away with a nice fresh razor blade. It's starting to look really, really nice now. And what we're, at this stage at least, avoiding doing is tipping over with the binding. We're not looking to sort of round it over at this stage, but we will. So just remove most of the excess, and then I find using fret end files is a really good, safe way to do this because they've got lots of rounded edges, so they don't tend to poke things. And we just repeat that process 21 times. Even though it's a bit more risky, I think I am just going to chisel this stuff out just because it'll be a lot quicker. Just have to pay attention. And you don't want to be scooping up because it'll tear the binding. So we'll sort of do it like this. And then come from the other side and just go down like that. There you go. One of the things that's nice about this file, because the teeth are fine on it, it won't actually cut the wood, or it will sort of mark the wood, but it won't, unless you're sort of really digging into it, it won't really sort of damage the wood that much. Whereas if I was to use just like a standard wood file, the teeth are so coarse on it that it would actually cause real significant damage to the fretboard. The downside to it is I think we probably only just about got one more fret in us with this tool before it becomes too wide to be usable. So I'm just using the chisel now. I'm resting it on the fret and just running it around at various different angles to just shape the tang. It will actually be mostly shaved off anyway because that's where the fret bevel is going to be, but it gives us sort of the best chance of it being, the approximate shape. Okay. I think that's going to be pretty good. Now I'm just going to put a bevel on the fret ends here. And essentially all I'm aiming for is to get it nice and even, and I want just a little bit of nib before we get to the fret. You know, I don't really want to take the bevel all the way there. It sort of doesn't, from my view, give you really enough to sort of play with, and makes the nib quite vulnerable. Next thing we're going to do is just scrape down this binding so that it actually sort of sits nicely on the neck. And I'm not going to worry too much about the finish. You know, we just have to sort of be mindful of it. But ultimately, it's a reasonably robust polyester or polyurethane finish, probably polyester. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear when you hit the paint versus the binding. It's a bit more of a sort of a high-pitched sound. So, using your ears, look, if you listen to this, that's the paint, that's the binding. I don't know if that's coming across, but using your ears and feel, you can actually get a really good sense of when you've got to where you want to be in terms of scraping depth. So I've marked out the dot markers, and this job you really have to get right because the player will look at these every single time they play the guitar. So I'm just going to mark on a scratch all and just make sure that I'm super happy with those. You know that visually they're looking like they're in the right place. Yep, that's looking okay. These are 1mm pilot holes that I'm drilling. Then we'll drill the actual 2mm holes required for the dots. Next up, we are going to just break the edge of this binding. It's very, very sharp at the moment, but it would be super unpleasant to play. So we're just going to do a real nice round over. The original binding had a really beautiful profile. What I actually did was saved a little bit of the binding so that I can actually mimic that profile, because, you know, we're trying to keep this as original as possible. So after we've done the majority of the work with the razor blade, we'll just go over this with sandpaper and make it real nice and smooth. So just got some 240 grit on a little cork block, and we just sort of follow the profile, and we're basically just, you know, rounding over like this. I find having a good light really helps, because you can actually sort of see exactly what you're doing, especially on sort of white curved surfaces. You know, it's very hard to see exactly what you're doing when the light is not really, really good.